Hi, and thanks for watching our Facebook Live. My name's Erica Stice, and I'm the studio coordinator here at Halstead. Now, today I want to talk to you about what the best solder for the job is, whether it's wire, chip, sheet, or paste. But first, I want to go over a little bit about silver solder alloys and how they work. So when you heat metal, the atoms that it's made up of begin to separate. When the solder flows, it runs between those atoms and bonds tightly to it. Now, in silver solder, besides silver, you have copper, zinc, and tin. Now, copper is soft and corrosion resistant, plus it's a great heat conductor. Zinc and tin have really low melting points, so the more tin or zinc there is in the solder, the lower the melting point. So let me show you this metal alloy chart. As you can see on this chart, Easy has 56% silver in it, 22% copper, and the zinc is at 17% and the tin is at 5%. Now, these high numbers of alloys in this solder has it flow much faster, but the bad side is Easy does not have as much silver in it. Now, as you look at soft, medium, and hard, the silver amount increases, but the zinc drops. So, when you have soft, you have 65% silver now, as opposed to Easy, which was 56% silver. But the zinc is at 15%, so it's actually going to flow at a higher temperature, because it's missing the zinc, and of course tin drops out after the Easy solder. Now on the medium solder you have 70%, with 10% being zinc. And hard solder is at 75% silver and only 3% zinc. So the hard solder has lots of silver in it, which is great, but low amounts of zinc, so it doesn't flow as quickly. Okay, now I'll show you what I mean by looking at this next chart, which talks about the silver solder melt and flow points. Now, if you look here, you'll see solder type, melt, and flow. So Easy melts at 1145 degrees, and it flows at 1205 degrees. So soft melts at 1240 degrees and flows at 1325 degrees. Medium melts at 1275 degrees and flows at 1360 degrees. And hard melts at 1365 degrees and flows at 1450 degrees Fahrenheit. So Easy flows much faster than hard because of the high amounts of zinc and tin present in it that we previously discussed. Now, anytime you fix or repair, you should use hard solder because it has more silver in it, which could mean the difference between a tarnished seam or an invisible one. Now, let me quickly explain to you what a multi-step soldering piece is. When you have multiple soldering joints to do, you need to solder it in steps. So if you look here, here's a box I made during my college classes. Now this box has 13 joins in it. You would need to solder this without allowing the previous solder joins to reflow. And you do that by planning out your steps carefully and using different solders. So my first solder joint would be done using hard solder, which flows at 1450 degrees. My next solder joint would be done using medium solder, which flows at 1360 degrees. And since medium solder doesn't require as much heat to flow as the hard solder, you won't reflow your previous joints. So you would just keep going down the solders. So I would use soft and easy next. Now here at Halstead, we teach multi-step soldering by creating a piece like this. This is a layered piece with multiple solders being used. So here we have hard, medium, and then soft being used. And up here we'll repeat that with hard, medium, and soft again. And this teaches the employees how to do a multi-step soldering piece. And after you're done, you can keep it or throw it away, but I highly suggest it. It's a great learning tool. Now let me go over the basic forms of silver solder. So first we have pallium chips. Now pallium chips are 1 × 1 millimeters or smaller, and they're perfect for chain links, jump rings, ornaments, small little ornaments. Next we have the paste. Now paste comes in either a syringe or a jar form. It's a mixture of binder, flux, and powdered solder. It has a 1-year shelf life. It's portable and clean with the flux included, which makes it a really great thing to use if you're on the road. You don't have to carry your flux with you. And it's great for jump rings or links in a production line to speed up the process, and it's also used for filigree work. Now we have the wire. Now wire is really versatile. It's my favorite type of solder to use. You can hammer it to make it flat, or cut it to make it tiny, keep it long or short. This is a great type of solder to use. It's really versatile. Next we have sheet solder. Sheet solder is perfect for large-scale projects and vessels. It's great for sweat soldering. Be careful with the size. It's easy to use too much when cutting it up. Now, one last solder I want to talk to you about is powder. Powder is created by filing solder ingots. You can use it with a borax or a liquid flux, and I personally have never tried it before. We don't carry it here. Now, choosing the right solder for the job is crucial. You have to consider two things. One is your solder form, whether it's chips, wire, paste, etc. And you also have to understand the flow temperature. It's important that it never exceeds the melting point of the metal you're working with. Now, we've just posted a blog article titled Types of Solder Used in Jewelry. This article is full of interesting facts about silver solder. It covers the different forms that solder comes in. Plus, it has the silver solder alloy chart and the silver solder melt and flow chart. And both of them are printable, so feel free to use them if you'd like. You can find that article at blog.halsteadb.com, and thank you for joining us.